I believe that the reason God created man was for management.
Really? I have never heard it put that way.
The first thing is to be honest with yourself. You can never have an impact on society if you have not changed yourself.
God will never allow growth where there is no management.
Wow, wow, wow.
So instead of praying for things from God, pray for the management ability.
Everything I tell you is true. Everything I open my mouth and I say is correct because heaven directs me on what to say. Heaven will tell me and I will tell you it will come to pass in front of your eyes. Not behind you, you will see it happening.
God will withhold things from you if you cannot manage them.
When you look at the facts that something around 1 million people perished as a result of the actions of the British and Russian and Nigerian federal governments.
Vis-a-vis what we see in Nigeria, which is truly not, it should not be surprising. Look, what's happening in Nigeria is barbarous. It's horrible. I mean, it's complete madness, yet it's not a priority. The United States unilaterally could do almost anything it needs to do. It would be a long-term effort, but it could be done. And the United States has the capability. All the elements of power, we have those.
So why not?
It's not a priority. That's the problem. We are committed elsewhere in the world. Black West Africa is not a priority.
Anybody who changes his principles depending on whom he is dealing, that is not a man who can lead a nation.
Excuse me. They can't tell me. No way. When the time comes, it's okay. What stupid country is this? So when you still tell somebody's secret, when you like, you find secret. When you like, it's in public. What stupid country is that? What stupid country is that, I ask you? When you like, you try and when you like to try in private, they are killing my people. 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 After killing my people, you tell me to tell the secret? The person is mad. Completely mad. Tell Buhari, that's what I said. That he is mad. He cannot tell me. He cannot tell me. He's a madman. There's a contempt of court proceedings here. Contempt of court. They don't obey court order. They don't obey court order. You're telling me secret trial. Is the person mad?
I, Nnamdi Kanu, will sacrifice anything sacrificable to make sure that Biafra comes.
We hereby declare no election, no 2023 general election in Biafra land. This no election in Biafra land has been activated. We are going to make it a task that must be done by every Biafran. All measures will be put in place to make sure the adequate civil disobedience is implemented to stop the election in Biafra land.
Do you know the meaning of discovery? It means to bring to light something that is buried on the ground. If you can accept that, then you know that Biafra is coming. There is nothing man can do about it. It's too late. Way, way too late. The countdown has begun. Yes, you're welcome, everyone. Good to have you here today again. Today is Friday, on the 13th day of January 2023. We are beginning so early because we're going to be having our guests. They have some other schedules, but we need to have them in the house so that they can submit their give their submissions and then be able to do what they have to do for today. I want to welcome you for joining, every one of you, wherever you're joining from. I want to say thank you for being steadfast in this consistent, being consistent and steadfast to the cause of our freedom, and making sure that you keep fit and get yourself, my cap, since my cap is not straight, let me straighten it. Thank you all. My name is Kelechi Ambrose. This is Biafra Global Network, and this is the Alliance in Focus program, where we're going to be talking to people from the Oduduwa nation and also people from, Biafra nation, and that is what we're doing. Oh my! I'm supposed to have sent. Okay, let's go on. We're expecting them soon. I'm going to be sending the links now. I think I forgot to send the link. Oh my! So I'm going to be forwarding the links now to them. So you see, sometimes there's this oversight that we begin to forget what we're supposed to do. And I want to appreciate you all for joining, wherever you're joining from. It is very, 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 very important to know that the movement for freedom, the cause of freedom, and the activity of freedom is consistent. We're not going back, we're not relenting, and we're not going to back down. And I want to tell you that we have, how many days now? I believe every one of you remember that we are still counting down, and this is 51 days to go. As you can see behind me, 51 days to go, and to, to see that we end Nigeria, and that's what we are doing. Thank you all. I want to thank you for your patience, and I want to thank you all for what you're doing, for being part of this. And of course, this is very, very important for us to understand that the enemies are contemplating so many options. They are thinking of whether to organize a coup. They are thinking of whether to, they don't know what to do because they are seeing the seriousness of Biafrans, and they know that this time around we're not joking. I want to thank you all for joining. Those of you who are joining from wherever you are, and I want to thank you also for those of you sending messages. I want to thank Noelin Adiambo being the first person, Odiambo being the first person to send a message. I want to thank Mrs. Adazion. Thank you so much, ma. You're here. Good day, Kelechi. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for joining. Kennedy Obilo, thank you for joining from where you are. Obilo. Let's pronounce it the way it's supposed to be. And when it comes to English, you speak English, but when you want to speak, your dialect, you speak it, you make it sound, that's accent. You must make it sound the way it's supposed to sound. And so it's Obilo, for, for Odiambo, it's Odiambo, Noelin, it's English. So, thank you. Yesterday, we were looking critically on the issues that have kept us where we are, basically the issue, because it's that issue brings about other issues. We looked at the issue of religion, and we looked at how religion has become the killer of our people. And we also analyzed the issue of the Anglican Church, or the head of the Anglican Church, coming to apologize for, talking about them apologizing for slavery. It's just like I take your thing from you. Sorry, please. It's just like I take your thing from you, and I say sorry for taking your stuff from you. And I'm still holding the thing, and I'm not giving it back to you. It doesn't make sense. I am holding what I've taken from you, and I'm not giving it back to you. And I'm saying I'm sorry for taking what belongs to you. And you need that thing badly. You still need it, because that thing is very critical to your life, to your survival. I'm still holding it, and I'm apologizing to you. I'm saying sorry, please. I'm sorry for taking this stuff from you, and all of that. So it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. That is what the Anglican Church is doing. They actually kept us in a jumble. They kept us in a forced amalgamation. And then they begin to ask Mr. Dazayan, I said, mock us. You know, that apology is a mockery. You know, it's a mockery. That's it. Whatever this scheme or plan was cut on top of their thick skulls in Jesus' name. He say to that, you know, their skull is very thick, and they have this heart of iron, so nothing penetrates. You know, Favor, thank you so much for joining. I want to appreciate you also. And the apology is mockery. It's a mockery. So when you take what belongs to me, that you know is important to me and I need it for survival, whatever, whether it's important to me or it's not important to me, as long as it belongs to me, it belongs to me. Then if you want to actually, you know, if you want to talk about apology, then you give me back first what you have taken from me. That is what Britain have done through the Anglican Church. So I appreciate you, and we have already one our guest in the house. I'll be bringing him up shortly, but I think his network is still it's one bar, but I know, and maybe let's see how it's going to come. And also, if you can hear me, you can go out and come in again, because your network, I think your network is low. So if you can just go out and come in, it will be better, I think so. I want to, we have two of our guests already in the house, and we're going to begin in earnest. And yes, that is it. Thank you so much, Mr. Demola Faleti. You're welcome, sir. We appreciate you for joining. Very good to have you here. Prince Ezem Ihenacho, good to have you too. We appreciate you for your time. In spite of your busy schedule, you said you must make it here, even if you don't have that much time, but you said you are going to make it here. And we want to appreciate you. We want you to say, Mr. Faleti, please, can you say hello to the people? And then Mr. Prince, it's not Mr. because the Prince is the title already. We say hello to us also. So please, Mr. Faleti, you're welcome. I don't know. I think his network is very here. See the signal, just red. So maybe he's not hearing properly. Prince, please just say hello to Biafrans and Oduduwa people. All the nations trapped in the contraption.
All glory to God Almighty for yet another day. And on this hallowed platform, all glory to Chukwokike, all glory to Oluwa, our Creator and our Maker. Fellow Biafrans, my brothers and sisters in Oduduwa, those who have seen the light, those who are not Nigerian slaves, who are only desperate to go and renew their slavery certificates, those who have recognized that they are human beings, who ought to have autonomy, who ought to have free will, who ought to have choice, who have to have independent and self-determining ability to impose their own footprints on this earth. I welcome you all, and I thank you all for being here. Thank you, Kelechi, once again for the sterling work you are doing on behalf of humanity. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are all welcome.
We appreciate you so much. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate you. Mr. Demola, I think your network is now full. I don't know if you can hear me. You can say hello to everyone, everyone trapped in the contraption called Nigeria and all over the world. Please, can you say hello to the people if you can hear me? All right, I think he's still having some problems on that. So let's just go straight to what we have to do today. We're looking at how we're going to analyze how Nigeria will fall in less than 2 months from now. But you see, the one critical thing that I want us to first look at as an introduction, because sometimes you wonder how people fight themselves. Because when I see somebody who is fighting themselves, we have to look at what is really the problem. Because why should you fight yourself when even an animal will not fight itself? And so it becomes critical. So now let's look at it here now. What is, from your perspective, psychological point of view, what is the idiosyncrasy of slavery?
I'm sure, to put it in another way, you're asking what are the precipitating factors responsible.
That is it.
For this.
That is it.
Yes. Am I correct?
Yes, psychologically now. You know, looking at
psychologically,
this.
Yes. Psychology is key to life. Psychology brings into the physical what is happening in people's brains and minds. You see, the construct Nigeria was psychologically deposited, was psychologically structured to produce what you are seeing now. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago where I wrote and said that all these talks about Biafrans fighting Biafrans, Oduduwans fighting Oduduwans, confusion around the whole place, terrorists everywhere, all these things you see, if you're not psychologically in tune, you would not know why. You won't remember that these are what Nigeria have been structured, have been conditioned, have been sort of projected to achieve. All these things are byproduct of Nigeria as an entity. And no matter what you do, no matter how you think about it, no matter what, these things will continue and will continue to worsen so long as that project, Nigeria, continues to exist. It was psychologically designed to yield the results you're seeing today. That today, if you say you are a human being and you want to be self-determining, your own brother, your own sister, your own mother, your own father could be totally against you and even want to fight you. Because that is what Nigeria is programmed to achieve. Only those who are psychologically equipped will understand it. Only those who have come to a level where they have obtained what we call discerning spirit. Only those who plug into the spirit of Biafra, spirit of Oduduwa. These spirits are plugged into Chukwokike, God the Creator. Only those who are in this spirit will understand that this is all Nigeria have been set up to achieve. And then they will commit themselves to ensure that Nigeria ends and ends even yesterday, not even today. So I hope you have captured what is responsible for what is going on in that contraption. It is shaped to produce what you are seeing now. That is why people can be bought over with money to become in charge of your lives in order to destroy you on behalf of the project Nigeria, on behalf of the evil designed project called Nigeria. I want to reaffirm that Nigeria is designed to ruin human ingenuity. I want to confirm and reaffirm that Nigeria is designed to malfunction, to produce malfunction on a regular, on a persistent, on a progressive, and on a permanent basis. This will never change. This has no possibility of changing as far as Nigeria remains in whatever shape, form, or whatever as an entity. This will never change. The only time it changes is when people understand that they have autonomy, they have free will just like everybody else, and they must introduce themselves. They must define themselves by themselves. We don't go about defining and introducing Europeans. They have no right whatsoever to define and introduce us. We have autonomy. God gifted that to us. God gifted us our brand type of food, our type of medicine, the type of trees that grow in our land. It is down to us to produce what we eat, produce the medicine and vaccines that we are going to use. For Christ's sake, the scriptures reveals to us that the heart of man is profoundly wicked and evil. How then are you allowing other people who know nothing about you, who know nothing about your crops, who know nothing about your trees, your roots, your leaves, to begin to import and impose their own food, their own medicines on you, killing you on a daily basis without you knowing? It is time, and I give God the glory that the season is here for Biafra and Oduduwa to show that they are human beings, not animals. I thank you.
Well, thank you for that, Mr. Demola. I don't know if you're available. Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me, Mr. Demola? Can you hear me? I think maybe he
must be in the Zoological Republic of Fulani Enterprise.
No, he's not. He's actually in the US, anyways.
Oh my God! How come? What's going on? He must have taken a bit of. He must have taken a bit of the zoo with him. He must have taken a bit of the zoo with him.
Okay, so now you look at it now in that regard. Now let's look at this other side of it now. Before we go on, because there's a particular narrative I was trying to bring out from the issue of Prince Charles. The Anglican Church apologizing, about slavery and all of that, and then they now said, we should pardon them. They're sorry, and then they gave 100 million pounds to settle for such kinds of that nonsense. Now, I was telling the people that how can you take what belonged to me and you're holding it and you're apologizing and you are still holding what you took from me? It doesn't make sense, because if you have made me a slave and you're apologizing to me and you still keep me in slavery, then it makes no sense. So let's look at it first in this regard. Now, what is the idiosyncratic behavior of an average slave, so that we can analyze and look at the lifestyle of an average Nigerian to understand how these things work, so that we can understand and not react to them the way we react to them, and then maybe help them and see if we can help them. Because some people get very, very annoyed when an average Nigerian behaves, but not understanding that there's an idiosyncratic nature of slaves.
Thank you so much. The first thing people want to know about a Nigerian is that a Nigerian is a happy slave. A Nigerian is someone who had accepted that they are basically animals. A Nigerian does not understand gimmicks. A Nigerian has no clue about gimmicks. That is why if the Anglican Church is apologizing and giving them money, they know that an average Nigerian would will appreciate the apology, and also will take the money and believe that the people apologizing have let go. An average Nigerian has no comprehension of the realities of life. But why would an average Nigerian appreciate this thing when they are ones who believe and who accept that they are basically animals? An animal takes whatever the owner gives to them. They want to understand this. An average Nigerian is somebody who accepts that they are an animal, but they are behaving worse than animals. Why they are worse than an animal is that an animal will still not take everything the owner presents. An animal will not accept everything. You can't go and prepare meat and give to a goat and the goat will eat it, unless you mix it with grass. Right? So, but in the case of a Nigerian who accepts that they are an animal, they will take whatever those that they believe are their masters present to them as food, and they will eat it, they consume it. So the apology an average Nigerian had accepted, especially when they bring money with it, even though they are not going to see the money anyway. But even if they saw the money, a sensible person will know that these are gimmicks. These are gimmicks. The head of the Anglican Church, as far as we know, is somebody called Justin Welby, who is the Archbishop of Canterbury. The Archbishop himself is a typical subscriber to the notion that Africans are animals. Okay? In fact, if I were to give that Archbishop a title, I will give him a title as the Minister for Petroleum and the Gas for Nigeria. Remember, this was the man that told the world that Buhari is the best man going. Okay? Because as far as he was concerned, Buhari could do no wrong, because this man used to be the head of BP in Nigeria. And he was only installed there to promote the agenda of slavery in Nigeria. They just covered him up with the robe and gave him that title because he was a reverend. People need to actually understand how these things work. I've already told you on this program that the worst evil, even though they will claim that they are being clever, the worst evil on earth was what Europeans did by designing uniforms, designing offices, designing institutions they ascribed as holy places. But then you need to begin to assess the individuals occupying these uniforms, these institutions, these offices. They are demonic. They are demonic. If they were not demonic, slavery would never have occurred and wouldn't have still been occurring as we speak. If they are not demonic, the world will not be in this terrible state it is in. That's why I say, let us unveil the Pope. Let us unveil the Archbishop of Canterbury. Let us unveil the monarchy. Let us unveil British establishments. Let us unveil all these BBC. Let us unveil them so you can see that they are masked agents. Okay? They confused humanity and tried to make humanity believe that these uniforms, these offices, these institutions are holy. But you need to know the occupants of these uniforms, the occupants of these offices, the occupants of these institutions. Then you begin to understand why humanity is broken. I can only summarize by saying to you, whenever a car continues to have accident, you need to query the driver. Our world and humanity have continued to suffer accidents upon accidents upon accidents. You need to find the fault with the so-called leaders occupying these offices of holiness, wearing these uniforms of holiness, and occupying all these institutions that they told you are holy. I thank you.
Thank you so much. You're welcome, Mr. Demola. We were actually not getting you initially, but we know you can. I know you can hear now because I can see your network is full here. I think we can hear you now. Please, can you speak so we know whether we can hear? Oh yes, we can hear you now. You're welcome, sir. Now,
sorry, Mr. Demola. I earlier thought you were operating from the darkness of the Zoological Republic.
Believe me, I was tracking you. I heard every word. You just couldn't hear me. Yes.
Okay.
And I apologize. I'm kind of new to this studio. I'm in Zoom. It was taking me some time. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes.
You're welcome. Of course, you've been hearing the conversation. So, I want to know from your own perspective. For the issue of an average Nigerian. Because of course we have been saying it that it's either you're a Nigerian or you're an intellectual. Now, Nigeria signalizes slavery, bondage, retardation, and everything that has to do with human destruction. And an average Nigerian then comes to the mindset. From your own perspective, what do you think is the mindset of an average Nigerian based on the fact that they reject what is good for them? They reject what is going to save them. They reject what is going to be beneficial to them. what is your perspective to the reasons why an average Nigerian becomes very haughty to anything that is beneficial to them?
My perspective and understanding of average Nigerian is that the slave masters, the Fulani Caliphate agents progressively dehumanized the average, well, actually, Nigerian populace, let me use that term, because they've totally captured the northern protectorate. But in addition to that, in an effort to totally and completely capture the southern, they are progressively dehumanized people of the southern protectorate, so much so that even though overtly confess it, our behavior, our modus operandi, just they dictate to us that we are subservient slaves. So much so that ourselves, as humans of equal standing, or actually ancestral land. So any little crumb or gesture of humanity that comes from somewhere appears to be the best that can happen, to such an extent that when somebody like for the most part in the diaspora, well, not that everybody in the diaspora clearly, and a few of the elites who own their eyes can see that something is wrong, comes to them, they instantly name you a troublemaker because you are rocking the boat, because they've been socially and humanized to the point that they don't see themselves in their full the right to their ancestral land in which they are being held captive. That's why it's become increasingly very difficult in the last independence, and most recently in this movement for self-determination. You still see people telling us, both Biafra and fighters, that we are secessionists, we are agitators, we are trying to.
Yes.
It's getting so bad. I don't know if you heard in the news, we had in Lagos just this past.
Yes, very well, very well. Yes.
The police came through and shot 2 of our peaceful demonstrators dead. In a civilized society, in a human society, let me say in a human society, have gone up in flames. But no, you can. How many of the politicians get up to say something? None of the 2 major political leaders in the city, okay, Lagos, Sanwo-Olu, the so-called Jagaban of Lagos,
yes,
are yet to come out to they can't say anything because they masterminded it. They are proxies for the caliphate. So that explains. You can see to what level to have been dug in a hole of slavery and dehumanization. It becomes difficult for the masses to really see that they are in fact in captivity. Being engaged in discussions where people say, "Oh, we are not in captivity," I say, "Wow." There's a word that I've been trying to remember when I started. Social psychologists call it the Stockholm syndrome, whereby it has been so badly dehumanized psychologically that empathize with his captor.
Mm.
And that's a majority of Nigerians are suffering from now. And like my brother just said, I put equal blames on both the Fulani and politicians, but the dynasty are behind it, and they were calculating. They knew very well they had allowed the Southern Protectorate leaders to take the reins of government, bribed in sub-Saharan Africa, in particular, the geopolitical contraction called Nigeria to hold water.
Mm. Okay. Prince, you want to say something about that?
Yes, I would love to add to what my brother very articulated so well in terms of the silence of all these so-called leaders. If you remember, in our last program, I made it a point of duty to educate our people so they understand what is behind all these. I've made it clear that understanding is key to everything, because I've never seen in my whole lifetime where anybody had solved a problem they did not understand. I've never seen it. The beginning of solution to any problem is the understanding of what you are dealing with.
Yeah.
I've made it clear that what we have in Africa, and by extension, in fact, in Nigeria, by extension, the whole of Africa, are occupying forces. Occupying forces. People need to put that in their head. These military, these law enforcement agencies, they are occupying forces. They are trained in that way. I know this very, very well. They are psychologically trained. They are top military brass, and those that are in the command of the law enforcement agency, that's then trickling down. They are trained to see the populace, even though they are answering the same name, but they are trained to see the civilians as their enemy. People they should kill at any given moment, because these are occupying forces. They are psychologically trained and conditioned to be this way. And their so-called leaders are also conditioned to use them any moment they see any dissent. The international community, in quote, are in cahoot with this, and they have promised all these so-called leaders of total protection, that they won't even react. Their media will not react. Even when they are reacting as a camouflage to make you believe that they're going to do something about it. In the end, nothing will ever happen. So they are encouraged to kill you. They are encouraged to torture you. They are encouraged to enslave and suppress and dehumanize you. It is their main work. So we can keep dreaming and hoping that one day things will change. Oh, one day, it is a lie. As far as this Nigeria entity continues to exist, I am sorry. When I use the adjective progressive in terms of malfunction to qualify Nigeria, I am sorry. Things can only progressively get worse. Things can only progressively get worse. It will never, ever. You can hope against hope. It can never, ever change until Biafra and Oduduwa come. So please understand that you're dealing with occupying forces. That is key. If we fail to understand that, we'll keep chasing shadows in hope that one day we will do something or say something that will make them change. They will never change. I thank you.
This brings me to the point of how urgent, how serious the situation, how dicey the situation we are in, and how urgent it is for us to dismantle that, contraption, which means that the mandate disrupting, destroying, bringing down, dismantling Nigeria is very urgent and very, 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 very quick It's an urgency.
It should have happened. It should have happened. Yes, it should have happened yesterday.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. It should have happened yesterday. Now it brings a point to me here now that makes it look, and of course not just look, that makes it, of course, as you said, it should have happened yesterday. Now 2 days ago, Prince Harry made a particular statement. On Monday, the Taliban came up with an allegation and said that he killed 25 terrorists, now coming up to make an allegation against a prince that he killed 25 Taliban fighters when he was with the military in Afghanistan, and he actually piloted an aircraft that was used to bombard the Taliban and hideout, and 25 of their members were killed. And the terrorists now are speaking legitimately, in quote, that 25 of their men were killed by a prince. And what shocked me is that the prince came out on Wednesday, that's 2 days ago, and said and denied. And he said this allegation has put his family in jeopardy. Oh my. I don't know whether you're seeing what I'm saying. Please, can you explain on your mind, your perspective, what this all about and what it's actually painting out there?
Thank you. Knowing quite the much I know about Britain. Britain is a place made up of very civilized, nice people, but until they get into government. Because in that government, there is what I will call an what would I call it? I would call in fact look, you can be a decent person, you can be so decent as an ordinary person, but once you become part of the establishment of Britain, you will turn to be what you are not. You become evil, actually. Okay? Because we need to spell out words so that it's very clear. And if you remember, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had already placed a curse on Britain. And one of the biggest deceit in human nature is people designing by their own self those they think are appointed by God and those that are not appointed by God. They don't know that these things are divine. Nnamdi Kanu told them that whoever I curse have been cursed. And then Nnamdi Kanu told them that they would begin to see, so long as they continue to have this agenda of destroying Biafra, that Biafra will be free, but they are going to enslave, whatever they wished on Biafra will come to them. Let me tell you something, whether people want to see it or not, Britain is in a dark place as we speak. Now, coming to the issue of Harry, I must first of all applaud Harry, because Harry was an insider who was able to tell the world about the hostage all of them that are in the monarchy were in. God used Harry, who I believe had the same spirit as his mother, to bring to light what is going on. The marriage between Harry and Meghan, that marriage, whether it lasts forever or not, that marriage was divine. It was for a purpose. It was miraculous because God wanted to reveal a lot. Now, in this issue of the Taliban issuing what they issued and Harry denying it, the truth is that I don't believe that ordinarily the Taliban would have been able to say what they have said if Harry was still a full-fledged member of the royal family. And if they did, the Taliban did, the royal family and the British establishment would have come out, not even Harry, it won't be Harry coming to defend himself. I need you to understand this very well and see what is going on. Harry had been allowed to hang out and go and defend himself. And the issue of this type of accusation coming is something that the British establishment wouldn't give a damn about, because nobody has come to counter it. It is left for Harry to do by himself. And that's why, that reading in between the lines, even though I'm not in the mind of Harry, that's why Harry had said what he had said. That is psychologically going into what I believe is going on. But let me say this, and I want it to go on record. If Harry killed 25 Taliban, Harry did it under, and I said if Harry killed 25 terrorists, Talibans, Harry did it at the behest of British government, because he was working under that framework. And Harry had the support of British government and whatever they call international community. If Harry did not do it, and they are alleging that Harry did it, I need to say to Harry, do not worry, because you are in the truth. And even if you did it mistakenly, because you thought and you didn't quite fully understand what you were doing. God looks at people's intentions. So if Harry did not do it and they are alleging this, I want Harry to know that in the scriptures, it is stated clearly that many will be the afflictions of the righteous. The righteous is not somebody who is a set. The righteous is one who is right in any particular subject. So many will be the afflictions of the righteous, because we are operating in a world of wickedness and evil. So many will be the afflictions of the righteous. But God is promising something, and has promised something that is awesome. Because God says, I will deliver you that is righteous from all of the afflictions. Not one, not two, not three. All those afflictions, God will deliver you, because your afflictions stem from a wicked world that does not want to hear the right stuff. So Harry should rest assured that God has weighed in his matter. That is my take.
So, Mr. Demola, let me put it to you this way. Now, looking at it critically, here is a terrorist organization accusing a prince, of terrorism. And now the implication here, in the context of Nigeria. Now, how do you think, how dangerous is the situation to our world? Because where terrorists now can be recognized legitimately, and they can come out boldly to speak of terrorism against their own organization. And what is the implication here in the context of Nigeria if we allow Nigeria to be sustained? Because by the time the Fulanis and the Boko Haram and all of that take over, they will be legitimately recognized, and they can come up with anything, and they can stand boldly to say that they have been terrorized, by any kind of, and begin to count terrorism against them. You understand what I'm trying to say? So now, what's the implication of all of these? Because I'm looking at it, how does this imply and affect this cause of freedom fight and the need to bring down the zoological republic, the Nigeria contraption?
I observed a phrase from you to me that which says, because by the time take control, is that what I heard you say?
Yes, I said if we allow them to take control, if we allow the terrorists, the Fulanis, the Boko Haram, and all that, to sustain.
Okay.
You understand? If we allow them to sustain, don't we see that it is because the issue, the fact that the Taliban could have that guts, terrorist organization could have the guts to say they are being terrorized. What is the implication in the angle of Nigeria? Knowing that if we allow these terrorists to take over and sustain Nigeria, we are going to be like the Taliban, and we're going to be like the Afghanistan, controlled by Taliban.
Okay. Put in the proper context, very beneficial implications for Nigeria as a, but it will have very, very disastrous implications for the citizens of the Southern Protectorate. We use the term if we allow the caliphate to keep control. Well, we don't have right now because they are being protected. The British Protectorate, the British slave masters. It's an existential to fight the caliphate system, fight the perpetuation of this slavery right now. You can see because the British government, in particular, Western powers in general, have looked the other way, and it should be no surprise that they, because when after this program, I wish I remember to send it, where there was a Western scientist actually saying on record that the world has an agenda of continuing to colonize because all the resources of the Western world located in Africa, and if Africa ever becomes stable enough to be the rest of the Western world and Asia will become third world. And that is, so you can see why the struggle for self-determination has been fought by the global media, lukewarm response by the global community, except for a handful here and there. So, and that's why you see the British government in particular, and because they've looked the other way, the Taliban doesn't is been pointing fingers. The British government knows, in particular, that going on. The British government knew that the Nigerian government was against the NSAS protesters about two years ago about the protesting plan to the Nigerian government. A group, anonymous, I don't know if you're familiar with them, gave that, put the word out, decided, and the British government knew about it on Tuesday, October 20, was when they predicted when it happened. So, in answer to your question, it's a very dire strait for the innocent people, citizens, the alliance territories of the Southern Protectorate, if we continue to allow the terrorism to persist as a proxy for the British colonization, the Southern Protectorate. Thank you.
Well, now we have decided that we're going to end Nigeria in 2023. And for the Biafrans, we have been counting days. Today is the 51 days to go. And from 51 days from now, we're going to be taking serious action. The Oduduwa nation is already taking action in regards to the issue of protesting. How far, before Prince comes into this, let me ask you, Mr. Demola, how far is the Oduduwa nation ready to go?
It gives me a great opportunity to really give us a Oduduwa has gone very, very far. Very, very far. I want to say in particular that we've gone so far that we actually became a republic on November 20. There is an organization called a movie called Ominira Yoruba 2022, which declared the republic by I made a proclamation on November 20, 2022. Legal right to do that because we have more than 5 million referendum signatures reflecting their intent to depart from the we tendered the papers to the United
5 million
Nations.
signatories of the Yoruba people.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, oh yes.
That's huge.
We tendered yes to the United Nations, the members of the United Nations Security Council, and we have made a peaceful exit from the contraption, Nigeria, and we will take other additional peaceful steps to exit transition. Since that declaration on November 20, we have been back on what we call reclaim of our territories, which include peaceful notification of all the agencies and instrumentalities of government. We have sent teams to Yoruba Nation, to their government offices. We did it, believe it or not, and tendered letters of reclaim to the Lagos State government. When we decided to embark, well, it's a strategic on our part. There's a common saying that if you want peace, prepare for war. Well, we are not prepared for war, but we are prepared to defend ourselves and our territory. So we went the peaceful route. If and when the time comes for us to occupy and jump in the gun, and in our 3-part program for the exit, and then of course we stand up because then our backs are to the wall. So going back on the reclaim project, whereby we peacefully approach the different agencies of government and serve them notices of intent to reclaim. 2 of our major states governors have received and peacefully accepted them from us. Other states have also that were publicized are Lagos and Oyo State, because Oyo State is the capital of the Oduduwa Republic, the way it's been planned, right? Now we are planning an occupied state. Actually, the rally that occurred 2 days ago was planned to accompany the occupied state. So we've moved so far that a Yoruba nation to come out. In fact, I forgot everywhere that we've performed a reclaim Yoruba nation flags there. And you can go back now in different parts of Oyo State and Ibadan. Yoruba nation flags are flying there. I can send you. See, what is happening is that we have reached a very in the self-determination movement that the global community knows we are exit. Nigeria is irretrievably broken. Like I always say, no kings together again. And when my brother Prince said the Britain is on a dire strait, it has to be, because from the annals of history as finance, the British, and now that the Nigerian contraption is in tethers, Britain has it, which is why they are giving you, having the gas stockpiles of gold in the vault, $300 million, while keeping multi-million dollar artifacts in the British museums. So we've gone really far, but we are just waiting to see what happens. And I can't say on the air for strategic reasons, but waiting on the calendar of our brothers before we know. So in conclusion, I would say we are, as a Yoruba nation, on the offer self-determination movement. It's only a question of whether the respect the rules of international law and give us a peaceful exit, or then we'll have to fight for our rights. Thank you.
So in either ways, the truth here is that the peace approach is either by using weapons of war, or going the way of documentation and diplomacy. So either ways, we're talking about peace. Peace comes in. Prince, let me bring it to you, in this perspective, looking at it, because we know that the Fulani's understanding of peace is to kill you. And in our own, of course, understanding of how they behave and how they think, we are prepared for that and for self-defense. As we heard Mr. Demolato also say, the Yoruba nation is also prepared for that, which means lots of things are going on the ground. And for Biafra, we are already having 51 days to begin the real action. And let's look at it. I want you to analyze it from your own point of view, psychologically, and at the same time, factually, how Nigeria, or how the Fulani Caliphate would be decimated, in the sense that we know that now the Middle Belt is no more with them. Majority of the houses are no more with them. The Oduduwa people are no more with them, unlike what we had in 1967. Because we know they are already coming to kill. They're killing. In fact, in Lagos, they killed 2 people 2 days ago, just for protesting. So, which means they believe in that peaceful way of using weapons to gain that peace. And that is what we are also prepared for. So, in your own analysis, how do you see the Fulanis fight this and crumble between now and the next 51 days?
I'm going to go the opposite direction in answering your question. And may I speak right now as the Spirit wants me to speak, not even as I would wish to speak. This will be my last contribution because I have to leave in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll be running
and, if it is possible, I would like this particular part of this program to be cut out and let it go to Simon Eba. Let it go to our Professor Banji. Let it go to our dear brother Sunday Iboho, because this is the critical point. The Spirit in me is telling me something, and I must declare it now. And it is saying the following: Biafrans and Oduduwa and every other community, ethnic group that wants to exit Nigeria. I need you to know that the job is yours to do. Nigeria is unique and uniquely constructed. There is nothing ordinary. There is nothing extraordinary. There is nothing that conforms to rules of engagement in this human endeavor that Nigeria subscribes to. Therefore, our freedom will have no order, we should follow no particular human order, because those whom you believe are in charge of the systems of this world are all against us. Therefore, it has to come depending on what we do, not what the Fulanis do, not what Britain does, not what the United Nations chooses to do. It is our work to do. This self-determination will come in our own style. So, I declare the following. It doesn't matter what these people now choose to do. It doesn't matter whether they go and do their election, or whether they decide to delay the election, or whether they decide to impose military rule, or whether they want to hand over to, of course, imposing military rule is handing everybody over to terrorists. That's what it means. I need all actions to begin after that date they scheduled for presidential election. For Christ's sake, we have over 200 million against the military that is an occupying force. We have over 200 million people against the law enforcement agencies that are also occupying forces. Now I speak to all the so-called religious leaders, all the so-called chiefs, all the so-called obas, all the so-called political leaders. This is between now and that day. That date of presidential election is the opportunity all of you have to come to our side and do the work that is necessary. If you fail, all of you that are religious leaders, all of you, because you're all in the same boat, we know all of you, you are all the agents used to suppress the people. All of you will see that we are all going to trigger this massive mayhem that will never contain any of you. We need to begin the action of our liberation without fear or favor. We have to do it once and for all. It is for us to do, and we must go forth after that date, presidential election. It doesn't matter what they bring on. It doesn't matter whether the election took place or not. That is when the whole citizenry that have been subjugated in that contraption must go forth, must go forth, must go forth. It won't be long. I want you to know that it won't be long. It won't be long. I've already told you, and Kelechi has actually emphasized the point that what you had in 1967 to 70 is no longer obtainable. People have been awoken to know that the evil of the land is the Fulanese. We must go all out and deal with their army, deal with their law enforcement agencies, deal with them ruthlessly. Nobody will give you this freedom on a platter of gold. They are not going to do it. You have seen it already. They are prepared to kill you at every given stage, in every given moment. They are prepared, and they have the support of their so-called international community. So I want you to look away from all these agents of destruction, and I want you to ignore anything they do after the 28th of February, when I hope is their whatever election, and begin this process of freedom. It would not take long. let's push now. Let's do it once and for all. They can't contain us. They can't. They can't. They have no capacity. It doesn't matter what they do. We are going to make sure that Nigeria is their last Waterloo. Every action must go into gear after that date. On the 29th of February, everything we have at our disposal must be engaged. It won't take long, I promise you that. We are at the stage of labor when it comes to pregnancy. This child must come out. This child must be born. A new dawn must happen. We have to dictate the terms. We can't allow international community who have already destroyed us to become the ones that dictate the terms. We won't allow Fulanese to dictate the terms. The terms must be dictated by us. It is freedom now or never. I thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. I want to ask you this before you leave. Just like you said, the international community, so-called international community, cannot dictate the terms now, or the ways, or the pattern, or the way we go about this, because they actually confessed on their own. If you remember the video, they're asking for the people to give them ideas on how they can help to restore peace, because they found out that what they have tried to do is not capable of solving the world's problem. What do you say about your final words on that note?
Yes, because they themselves know, they know very, very well that they are part of the problem. Now, because they are part of the problem, they have no idea of the solution. You see, you can't be the problem and at the same time be the solution. It's impossible. Okay? We have to provide the solution ourselves, not only theoretically, but practically. It is us that know where we are going. We can't allow a driver that does not know our destination to come and drive and take us to where we want to go. God gifted us the autonomy. God gifted us the free will. God gifted us the choice. God gifted us that independence. God gifted us that self-determination. They have had theirs, and we must have ours. And ours must be now, or never. We must do it now for the sake of not only this generation, but our future generation. Just like Professor Banji Akintoye said, we owe it to our children and children. We must do it. It is now, not later, not tomorrow. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's allow you go. You've said it in these few words. You have said it so strongly. Thank you so much. Let's leave you so you can do the other
goodbye,
things.
my dear brother Demola. Thank you so much. You are a brother. And can I tell you that I have a job I have said I'm going to do in Biafra free of charge. I am offering the same to our Oduduwa brothers and sisters, because we need to orientate and reorientate our people. We orientate our children and we reorientate our older ones. Everything humanity is charged to do here revolves around our mindset. And I want to work earnestly on that mindset, because Oduduwa and Biafra Nation are coming here to bring out the true light that will illuminate the world. We are coming to rescue the Fulani. We are coming to rescue Britain. We are coming to rescue Europe. We are coming to rescue the entire humanity, because we have been sold to darkness. We are bringing light to get rid of this terrible darkness that has engulfed us. So I need you to know that the same offer I have offered to Biafra free of charge, I will offer to Oduduwa Republic, because we have talents that are yet untapped. On that note, I say thank you very much. I thank you, the entire humanity. I've got to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We'll see you on Monday. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much, Prince. Mr. Demola, I'm not going to take your time, so I'm not going to keep it too long. Just briefly, in the next 10 minutes or so, we'll be through, through talk so that we don't take your time. Now, we Biafrans, let me respond to one and Ben. Ben, you said you're talking about arms, getting arms is a challenge. You shouldn't bother yourself, Ben, because you're not in the clique of those who are doing this work. Biafra, Oduduwa don't have problems about arms. We know what we're doing. We are well organized. We have our program. So don't stay here and begin to talk about arms when you don't even know what the people are doing. We have or you want us to start telling you here how many and what we have bought and the things we have. We don't expect us to tell you that. So don't worry about arms. Don't worry about whether we are ready or not. We are ready. We're not foolish. We're not Nigerians. It's only Nigerians that are foolish. We are intellectuals. That's why we're not Nigerians. So leave the issue of arms, no arms, and all that. We have we know what we're doing. So Mr. Demola, now we have 51 days in our own calculation to end Nigeria, and that 51 days begins the real action. Now, I don't know what is the time frame. Maybe you can tell us the perspective to how your own time frame fits into our 51 days and how it can be synergized.
I like the 51-day calendar. It really aligns with our project in the Southern Protectorate that we are not an election in Yoruba land. Whatever is held in Yoruba land, and I very much doubt if one will be possible then, said by your Yoruba nation to elect leaders of the new republic, not conducted by the Nigerian government. Earlier on in my presentation that immediately the Occupy stage, we will install a transitional government, in effect conduct a constitutional convention, a constitution, and proceed to an election. I doubt if all of this, and if that cannot happen in 51 days, you can rest assured we are not going to allow any election in Yoruba land. So, but the time frame for our program is actually in alliance with the 51-day mandate that the Biafra Republic, to the extent that the Occupy stage is going to be because we have an 8 or 9 states to occupy, because we are going progressively. As long as we don't any violent opposition, we anticipate it will take us that many days or less to complete the occupation. I don't want to. I'm not going to use the term occupation. To complete the Occupy process. We are actually the two neighboring republics, and them without necessarily comparing notes. So it's all working well. We are working the same time frame. What to recognize is that by us going, we are giving the caliphate an opportunity. We are showing more respect for the rule of law. So we just so that we back the international community to the world. We're not going to be the one to fire the first bullet. If it doesn't, but if they do, we're very.
They have done already. 2 days ago, they killed 2 people. They fired them. They have already shot. They've given the shot yet. They've given the shot first. They have actually shot. Well, they've given the first shot.
Well, you can rest assured we're not taking it lying. Yes, we're not taking it lying down. our will be very.
You know why I said so, because one life is as important as the rest. So for the fact that they have shut down one or two or so, and for the fact that they have been killing in our forests, Oduduwa forest, they came to or kill people, they have started.
Absolutely. There is never an expiration date for peace. Peace is never an expiration. As long as there is room for peace. In fact, you can actually, and while at the same time seeking peace in the background. That's what we're doing. We are actually preparing to defend future hostilities, while at the same time simultaneously engaging in a peaceful exit. A time will come, the time will really run out for the caliphate, not for us. And that is within the 51-day calendar. Just like my brother Prince said, the nation that forgets his history will we are not about to repeat the mistakes of 1967. No better. And I tell people, if we in the West South knew what we know now, 1967 wouldn't have gone the way it did.
That's right.
We've learned our lesson, but the caliphate has not learned it. And I'm saying that affirmatively. The caliphate has not learned its lesson. It learned a terrible lesson in 2011 in the Central African Republic. Yes, a very hard lesson. You just think guns and ammo is everything. They had everything in 2011 in Central. The remnants of the caliphate that Buhari allowed to migrate now, if you must know. So they obviously haven't learned their lessons. They have forgotten their history. They will repeat the mistakes of the past. And I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry for the global community, for human tolls that will take place if and when hostilities, of course, the caliphate will renege and just peacefully. I mean, we're not saying an end to Nigeria. We're just saying we don't want to be. God did not create us as Nigeria. Yoruba kingdom and those are the two kingdoms that God created and gave us natural borders. If they continue under the British colony, more power to them. Go not. That's what we're saying. If they want to do it peacefully, they can do it the easy way or the hard. They can do it the easy way or the hard way. But I'm not going to say we are going. We're just giving them an opportunity to peacefully vacate. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you so much. You've given it right. In fact, you have given it very, very rightly, and especially the talk about the Central African Republic, and all of that, and the remnants also being pushed in here, and all of that. And the final, I'm going to ask you the last question because our time is already up. We have about 6 minutes to go. Sure. I'm seeing Dr. Ngozi here. We have already 6 minutes to go, but let's see how we can jumble this together. Let's make a particular statement, and then we can now link it to what we're doing. Doctor, you're welcome. We only have 6 minutes left because we're supposed to share.
Hello, Dr. Ngozi.
Yes. So you're welcome. We've been looking at the issue of Nigeria. Nigeria being, wrapped up in the next 51 days. And from the analysis we've had, the Oduduwa nation, the Biafra nation are already in tandem. They are together. They are working. The progress is intertwined. And so success is imminent. And we are sure of living. Let's just ask this question. In your own perspective, Dr. Ngozi, let's say in the next 2-3 minutes, how do you see the Nigeria or the contraption itself and wrap up in the next 51 days?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kalechi, and thank you for my view. And the wrapping up of the contraption, Nigeria, something that is something that must happen for the citizens to be alive. The collaboration between the Biafra and the Oduduwa and so many different groups, indigenous groups in Nigeria, also working towards living the contraption. The kickoff of the dissolution of, I strongly believe it's going to start in the next 50-something days. Because if you in the whole country, you can see that hopelessness and helping almost all the citizens of the country. It is only a few, just a few in this majority and the rest of Nigerians in bondage. And those few people, in all their community, they started sorting them out. The major thing is that few people cannot defeat majority citizens. So every group is getting ready. The Oduduwa and the tandem, like you said, which are the same question.
I think we're having a problem with your network. We're having a problem with your network. It seems not to be very stable because it's breaking from that end. I don't know whether it's from the distance you know. Okay.
I'm driving.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yeah. Yes. It's distorting it's distorting the voice. It's distorting the voice. Okay. Continue. Let's see if it will go on well.
So, can you hear me?
We're not getting it right. We're not getting it well. I think there's a distortion there. Maybe you have to go out again. And we still have about 2 minutes to round off. Maybe once you come in, we'll take another 1 minute. And then, Mr. Demola, let me ask you this question, Mr. Demola. Now, from your own analysis, looking at Nigeria, looking at Nigeria and looking at everything, the fact that the Oduduwa nation is prepared, Biafra nation is prepared, and of course, maybe some other people are looking forward. Maybe the baggies and all of that. They're all looking at everybody to see the two nations, expecting that we take the action. Then they come in. What do you see Nigeria in the next few days, in the next 2 months, less than 2 months? How do you see the Fulanis not being able to handle the situation based on the fact that the Oduduwa is no more with them, other nations and tribes are no more with them? How do you see them handle the situation now, knowing that they are not people who always want to, as you said initially, if they will renege? But we know they are not people who renege. They are not people. They act like some people are, under an influence that is beyond the natural. So, what do you think will be their situation in the next days to come?
I expect them to unleash, and I'm saying that as a matter of fact because they have embedded a number of our renegades. They will not come out as and start attacking, but they have amassed in the southeast and southwestern forests that they will start hostilities, because by so doing they can blame the action, because the global community knows that with terrorists. The global community also knows, even though they will not admit to it, government that has sponsored terrorism to further the caliphate agenda. So I anticipate that the Nigerian government to see that the alliance territories have departed, the sooner they will try to destabilize by unleashing. Hearing the last 7 years is that they are already, the terrorists are in bushes from above. So it will not surprise me if they start coming out. They are embedded within our metropolitan areas. Anticipate may happen, but they can rest assured, prepare to defend ourselves. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for that last one. And Dr. Ngozi, where do you see the Fulanis in the next days to come?
The Fulanis are really the it's not just the ordinary Fulanis that are being sent to go and attack the indigenous, let them take over their land. We also have to know that when we're talking about the Fulanis, the political class in Nigeria cut across that are supporting an area. So those are the people that should be ready to bear the brunt of what is Kenji's attack, an ordinary Fulani herdsman that was sent to go and cause mayhem, cause havoc in people's communities, kill them. Not only those foot soldiers they have, but also the people that are abating them in the area of those, in brackets, those leaders are part of this plot to kill innocent Nigerians and give it out to terrorists. All those people, they are in all parts of East, West, North, and South. So it's not just the Fulanis, it's also the Igbo, the Middle Belt, the Arawas that are supporting these people.
We know that. My argument here is that we know that we have saboteurs within us who are doing all of this stuff, but they are being fueled. Britain gave the power over to the Fulanis, and they are the ones actually funding all of this stuff because they know that our people love money, so they fund this stuff. So we are looking critically because wherever they are kept and whatever happens, it's going to affect their stooges, who are these ones who are being used. But we're looking at the Fulanis now. Their confusion, their position, based on the fact that the Oduduwas are no more with them. Generally, we're looking at the majority, not even the minority who are taking money, those ones taking money and those ones who are sabotaging the thing. We're looking at the major people now, or the main people who own the people's voice now, is that we're leaving and we are set to leave. Between now and February, it is very certain that we are going to shake that zoo, we're going to shake that contraption, and we're going to disrupt the political process, and we're going to dismantle anything that has to do with Nigeria. And that begins from towards the end of February. Now, the Fulanis are the main people who are actually fronting this issue of conquest using the stooges, but basically they are the ones we're looking at now. What will be their position in the next days to come? How will they survive it based on the fact that the Oduduwas are no more with them, the Middle Belt people are no more with them, and all of that? How will they survive it, and what will be their end?
Again, however they're going to survive is not I don't think it's my business of Biafra. What we want, we want to secure. Yeah, we want to secure our lives, and any interruption, any group of people that have come to kill us, the repercussion, the way they are killing us, the way. So it is left for them. I'm not going to make the decision what they've been doing. They know how they've been killing the indigenous of Nigeria, taking over their land of the country. So it is their responsibility to figure out those that brought them in. They are talking with them. Let them go back and discuss with them what is going to be our fate. Because people now, they won't allow us to come in, kill them, conquer them, and take over their land. There are no actors alone. Let them go back and have that discussion with those people that send them. And they can tell us, we are going to secure our land. We are going to stop the killing. We are going to use everything. They don't continue to kill us. There will be no election in Biafra land. There will be no election in Oduduwa land. There will be no election in Arawa. There will be no election. So those of them parading themselves next year to continue perpetuating this criminality in Nigeria, they have to start. I strongly believe some of them have started planning on the next move. Some of them, I believe, know what to do. So it's not for me to figure out what they have to do. My task is that we must secure our land and then do what we got to do to get Biafra and get Oduduwa. That whatever they do, that's not part of our business.
All right. Thank you so much for that submission, Dr. Demola. Your final words on this, and your final words on this. And my take there about issue of what will be their situation is that how would this? I was just trying to look at how they can hold this fight based on the fact that no other nation is going to be supporting them, because their backbone was actually the fact that others were supporting them, and they had that ego and effrontery, based on the fact that they were, supported by the other nations in the contraption. Now we know that Britain is still there, but Britain, of course, we are breaking the backbone of Britain, because through social media and the fact that we have means of communicating out to the world what is happening, we have destroyed them. No more BBC, taking them, having an edge over us. We also are in the media, so that's what we're doing now. So, Mr. Demola, are you still here? Since your network have taken you away, I can see the thing has gone so low, 1 bar and red and bar. I don't know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, just say something so that we can round off. We need to round off now. So, Mr. Demola, are you there? Okay.
Yes.
So okay. Please go on. Please go on. Your final words in this regard.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you.
Thank you.
We can hear you.
I can't see the camera anymore. Glad you can hear me.
Yes.
I just want to say.
The network.
I just want to say that in a reverse of fortune, okay, the Fulani Caliphate is facing an existential crisis in Yoruba and Biafra land. Okay,
that's it.
Because if they don't vacate our territory within the next 51 days peacefully, I can say sarcastically that the southern protectorate fertilizer industry may experience a downturn in the next few years. Why? Because there'll be natural fertilizers in the Yoruba and Biafra forest, if you know what I mean. Because the door is closing. Yes, the door is closing. There's no way 1967 could have gone that direction if Southwest knew what we know now.
Yes.
It was so the divide and conquer strategy has failed.
That's it.
The divide and conquer strategy has failed. So we've always been brothers. They tried to separate us. We woke up and smelled the coffee. And because they haven't woken up to smell the coffee, they will end up, if you will, smell the gunpowder. You have two choices. We smell the coffee. We've come together, Biafra and Oduduwa Republic, as a community. God brought us together as brothers. That's why I put us contiguously together. They try to separate us. So time is running out. Yes, time is running out. Our backs are against the wall. We have no choice but to fight. They are planned to come and soak the Quran in the Atlantic Ocean. No. The forest of Yoruba and Igbo land will be fertilized by the blood of the captive of the captors of Yoruba people who are situated there. Unless, of course, they come overnight and move them out. It is the same way they did. Yes.
Thank you so much for that. In fact, that is a strong one to end the program. That is a very, very good one to end the program. And I want to thank you for that submission. In fact, it's so powerful. We try to, get things done fast today. We already have 1 hour, 40 minutes. We already have 1 hour, 50 minutes because we began on time, 10 minutes, to the time. And I want to appreciate you for these last words and all of that. I want to thank you all for watching, everyone watching wherever you are. And of course, it's just like we should continue the program. We should keep talking about it, but we'll always have another time where we'll be here Friday to discuss it, because I don't want our guests to stay too long anymore, because they always have their own schedules. Thank you so much, Mr. Demola. In fact,
Thank you.
It was the right words to end this program. So wonderful. And I know our people are going to go listen to it again and again. And please, we want to tell you, share this broadcast, share it on all your social media platforms, so that people can hear this message from these great wise ones who have actually spoken strongly today. And thank you so much, Dr. Ngozi, even if we're not able to have much from you because of your own schedule. Of course, you said it initially that you were going to be coming in late, and because of the schedule. So we still appreciate you. We know that you're going to be here, again on Friday. And of course, we might have enough time together, to actually talk about these things. And next week is going to be something else, because we're going to be looking at critical topics again. And the topic for next week, Friday, is going to be very critical. I tell you, it's going to be wonderful. And I know we're going to have our, submissions that will change the perspective of these people to understand that we are ready to go and we're ready to take what belongs to us. And this time around, it's not going to be a joke. It's not going to be a joke. It's not going to be a joke at all. We're not joking about it. We're serious about it. The lives that have been lost in this regard are going to be revenged and avenged. And so anyone who has died, 2 people died just 2 days ago, just protesting in Lagos, Ojota. In fact, that spot, I remember as 2 years ago, or was it 2020, I was in that area, before I left during the NSAS thing that took me away. I have to run for my life, because I was also at Lekki there when that shooting began.
Wow.
And all of that. So that's why I left. And that's Ojota's, that spot. I know that place where you have that statue, of Biola. At this side, you have Funsho, Funsho William or somewhere the other side, and you have I was just looking at that. So they have killed, and they are always killing. Anytime there's protest, they're always killing people. That place. They always killing. During the NSAS too, they killed a young girl who was, they call it Kiri. That's where they kill.
Right.
They carry.
Right.
Yes, they call it Kiri. I think, a girl Hawking, she was shot. That same spot. So it's so terrible. And as you have said, we're gonna have the fertilizer companies might close down. And this thing has to be, yes. And I like that. Oh my God, that's really interesting. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. We thank our Prince, who has been here too and giving us so strong perspective to these things. And what we're going to try is we're going to try to see if we can cut some of these segments, and then forward them to, so that people can listen to these brief clips. And especially this last point also is very critical. You have some cuts, we circulate them, and for people to have short clips that they can listen to every time and know that something critical is going on. I want to appreciate you all, my guests, Mr. Demola Faleti, Dr. Ngozi, Orabete, and Prince Ezem Hienacho. Thank you so much for always, responding to our call and for service, onto service to Biafra people here on this platform. We appreciate you for coming. Thank you so much. I'll let you go now. Dr. Ngozi, I'll let you go now, so that your business and all of that, and then we look forward to the next time we're going to be together. And if there's a need to call you up for any particular program, just do that, and then you come up aside the regular Friday program. It's a pleasure having you here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ngozi.
Dear friends,
have a blessed day.
All right. So on this note, we are going to end this program today. Biafrans all over Oduduwa nation, people all over the nations of the world, we appreciate you for joining. Please connect with other Oduduwa people. Send this broadcast to them anywhere they are, all over the nations of the world. Let them listen to this intelligent people and who have spoken to us and who have given us their analysis and everything about their own perspective to this whole thing. And please share on all platforms that you belong, so that this message can go far and wide, and they can know how resolved we are and how resolute we are in the facts that concerns our children, our grandchildren, and generations to come. That is why we're doing what we're doing, for the generations to come, because we are suffering now because the generation past actually missed it. And now we are here. We must correct anomalies. We must disrupt the status quo and restore sanity to the lives of humanity, especially those who are Africans. We want to thank you all wherever you are. Please share this broadcast, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not, and let's keep sending this message, all over the nations of the world. I appreciate you all, and thank you so much. And may you stay safe, Be prepared. Be resolute. Make sure you're not manipulated by anybody to believe in the falsehood of Nigeria. Make sure you stand strong on what you believe. That is your freedom. That is what God has promised us. That is what God wants us to be free, so that we can be free to achieve success, free to fulfill our purpose in life, free to carry out the activities of our lives in the confines of our nations. The sovereign nation of Oduduwa Republic, the sovereign nation of Biafra Republic, the sovereign nation of even if it has to do with the Baggies of Abuja. I told you the other time that in Abuja, the Baggies, since Nigeria's capital was moved to Abuja, no person, the Baggies are the owners of Abuja. None of them have become Minister of State. They have never been in that. It's only the Fulanis that are always taken. So that tells you that we're already subjugated beyond imagination. And that is what we have come to end. And 51 days to go, the narrative will change and Nigeria will come down. There will be no election in Biafra land, in Oduduwa land at all. We are set to bring down that contraption. It cannot be sustained anymore. It cannot sustain. It will implode and it will be destroyed. And the nations will come out of it. We are all going to celebrate and rejoice with our neighbors, the Oduduwa nation. And we have normal laws that will relate, that the two nations can relate. Normal international, these things we're going to be talking about the next week. So on Friday, we're going to be looking at how the relationship will be after we get our freedom. I'm giving you guys a clue now to what we're going to be discussing. And so I'm going to communicate it also to our guests, and then they'll prepare for it. How this relationship, how sweet the relationship will be under the auspices of sovereignty. We should understand what we're fighting for and know how it profits and benefits us directly, indirectly, and to the generations to come. You can imagine what you're going through being in Nigeria. You can imagine what it will be when you now have a normal system working. The Oduduwa people have formed their own laws, designed their own concept for their people, because it is born out of that love for nation. Out of that love for nation, we love ourselves, so we come together to lay down laws that will benefit us together. That is what this freedom thing does for us. We have to understand all of this so that you know that the fight for freedom, when you have a contraption like Nigeria that they believe that it belongs to nobody. It's just a business empire, so they just cash into everything that has to do with you and steal from you because they believe it doesn't belong to anybody. But when you have Oduduwa nation, you have Biafra nation, every nation, we all know that this nation is ours. As an Oduduwa person, this is my nation. As a Biafra person, this is my nation. In that kind of knowledge, under the auspices of that kind of mindset, you now begin to understand that we need to do things to grow our nation. And then the laws will now favor you. The environment will favor you. Your resources will be yours. Everything you make from your land is for everybody. These are the things. And then you talk about healthy relations with other nations, Oduduwa nation, Biafra nation, and other nations, having healthy relations, and that helps us to progress what we're doing. Before you know it, will transform Africa. And that is it. Thank you so much, all. We appreciate you for being part of this, and stay blessed, stay lifted, stay positive, and believe in freedom. Answer this question. Every day you wake up in the morning and before you sleep, ask yourself, am I a Nigerian or an intellectual? When you have the answer, it will give you the solution to the problem. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the day.